I'd like to welcome Rob Waugh, Managing Director of Musgrave Minerals. After starting his career as a geologist with WMC, Rob found his passion in exploration and has been involved in multiple discoveries throughout a successful 30-year career. His current focus is on the Q Gold project in WA's Murchison district, where he has led the team to the discovery of the higher-grade Break of Day deposit, a greater than 10 grams per tonne resource. The company is currently in an exciting position and is systematically growing the resource on multiple fronts at the project. Please welcome Rob.
Thanks, Libby. Pleasure to be here. Always great to be here at Diggers, and I'm feeling a little bit older than normal, as I used to go to uni with Libby's dad. But welcome to the Musgrave story. Disclaimer: it's on the website. The objectives for Musgrave for 2021: we want to systematically test our targets. We want to deliver new discoveries and grow the resource gold base. We've commenced pre-feasibility level studies at Break of Day and Lena, two of our larger deposits. And we also have a strong joint venture with Evolution on Lake Austin. So they're the three dimensions to what we're doing in 2021 and leading into 2022. At a corporate level, we've got a strong shareholder base. We've got a strong cash position of $20 million. And we've got a really exciting program going forward. We've been able to add experience to the board. We've got a strong board. We've been together a while. Brett Lambert has joined us over the last 6 months. A strong engineering background with Brett, and that gives us a really balanced nature to our board with corporate, finance, engineering, and geoscience and ESG experience there. The underpinning what we're doing at Q is the Break of Day resource. So it's a 10-gram resource, very close to surface, and part of that is the new Starlight and White Light discoveries that were made mid last year. So really they are made up of 5 lodes. The majority of that is made up of 5 lodes, 85% of that resource. We're also converting some of the inferred into indicated over the coming months, and the discovery of Starlight at a high angle to the existing shear structures and stratigraphy has led us to make new discoveries in this belt. So effectively turning the rig around has led to the discovery at Starlight. This image just gives you a feel in 3 dimensions of what we're looking at the 2 main deposits at Q, which is Lena in yellow and Break of Day there in orange. They're roughly only separated by roughly 120 metres, very high grade as you can see at Break of Day, and modest but still good grade at Lena. As said there, 85% of the gold in the top 200 metres, and some of the intercepts that we highlighted last year are 14 metres at 190 grams, only 4 metres below surface. Just to reiterate that, what we're seeing is about 4 metres of hard pan over the top. So the hard pan is a consolidated clay, pretty typical in the Murchison, and that has stopped previous explorers really from making that discovery at Starlight being very close to surface. So last year we had 3 of the top 10 gold intersections in the whole world in this project. So it gives you a feel for how unusual what we're seeing is here in the current climate. Most deposits are either high grade and deep or shallow and low grade. The image you're looking at on screen there is a gravity image. So gravity has been instrumental. Integrating the gravity data with the magnetic data, geology and geochemistry and shallow drilling has led us to develop a number of new targets within this belt. So what we're seeing here is, and comparing, is the density of the rocks below surface. The blue colours are the less dense rocks. The hotter red, white colours are the more dense rocks. So what we're looking for is breaks in the gravity data, integrating that with magnetics and getting multiple interpretations on the geology as we move forward. So we've been able to identify multiple parallel shear zones in the belt, and that has led to new discoveries. The new Big Sky area that we've identified is this area in here. It's a 2.6 kilometre long trend gold mineralisation all along it. We're drilling that at the moment. There are multiple holes we have in the lab, up to about 120 drill holes we're waiting to get assays back for. We're hoping to grow the resource base, and this will be a key component of it. One of the first targets we identified after making the Starlight discovery was White Light. It's only about 300 metres to the south of Starlight. Again, it's at a very high angle to the stratigraphy and the shear zone. You can see here, this is the deposit here, and this is generally the trend of the stratigraphy and the shearing. You see complex nature of the veining at break of day. But you can see the grades we're seeing there at White Light, relatively small dimensionally, but very high grade. And we think we can find a number of these within the belt. Obviously an oxide component near surface, and then we get into the darker colours, we can get into fresh rock below. This has opened up again, as I mentioned, the regional targets. So just looking at the Landsat image, you can see the relationship between break of day and Big Sky. Again, break of day and Lena system are in here, and this is that break of day Lena shear zone running down. We've just identified this new Big Sky zone. Again, there's a total strike length of 7 kilometres there, and again, north of that we run into the joint venture with Evolution, and that's a joint venture that we're managing on the ground. Evolution have a very strong technical focus and contribution of funding for that JV. So at Big Sky, we're drilling regionally on air core spacing to start with. We've identified that 2.6 kilometres of strike. You can see some of the numbers through there. Lots of drill holes we're waiting for, and we're following that up with RC at the moment. Then some of the RC drilling, this is just a component of it we're looking at, and we're seeing we're in a position here, in a contact position between sediments and felsics. Again, quite sheared, but we're seeing porphyries within that system as well. But some of the intervals there, we're seeing 84 metres at 1.4 grams from 24 metres below the surface. So we're seeing a bit of lower tenor than break of day system, but this is an opportunity here for effectively baseline feed. So you're looking at good grades still, not too deep. You're looking at shallow hard pan cover over the top, just giving you that little bit of disguise in here, and then straight into the system. So we're looking forward to continuing to drill this out to resource status over that 2.6 kilometres of strike. To the north of the Big Sky deposit on the same shear structure, we've got target 14. You can see some of the numbers there as well. We're getting these moderate intervals of 20 metres at a gram, but also some higher grade components sitting in there at 10 metre intervals at around that 5 to 10 gram mark. Some of the geology in here is reasonably complex, and we're working our way through that with combinations of diamond drilling and RC to piece it together. But again, it's a new target, interesting area, good gold grades, and very close to surface. So the focus for us in the short term is mineralisation within the top 200 metres. The closer we can get to surface, obviously the better, open cuttable and very attractive. On the metallurgy front, we're seeing good recoveries at break of day and Lena. We're continuing to do more met work. We're doing geotech on pit design. We're doing long lead time items like baseline environment, water source, etc. So all these things are happening in the background. We get a high gravity component recovery. You can see the gold pan there again, very coarse gold. You can see some of these coarse nuggets coming through, 2 to 3 millimetres in size, but also a very large fine gold tail. And obviously a quartz background. The region, we're in a region that has fantastic infrastructure. We're only 3 kilometres off the Great Northern Highway. We've got mines all around us. We've got Ramelius to the south, Westgold to the north, Gascoyne to the west, Deflector out again to the southwest. So there's lots of opportunity. So we see what we want to be able to do is grow the resource base to make some decisions going forward about some standalone development options. That's the goal for the corporate, for us as a corporate, and where we would like to see ourselves. But we do know this is an area with very good infrastructure. And gold can be trucked a long way on the Yilgarn, as Ramelius has proved and been really a forerunner for over the last decade. Part of what we're doing is a joint venture with Evolution. Evolution have been a great partner. They've been with us a couple of years now. The area in green is where the existing resource base is at Break of Day and Lena and the Big Sky Trend. We also have 100% of the ground at Mainland. And then the joint venture with Evolution are the yellow areas. So Evolution can spend $18 million to earn 75% over 5 years. They're roughly around $5 million into that spend. They've committed $5 million in financial year 22 to this project. We've seen some really good results come through at a number of areas, Lake Austin North and most recently at West Island. West Island looks very interesting. We're getting some good grades beneath the cover sequence. We can see a cross-section there. The host rock to this, again, this is a differentiated dolerite. Very similar host rocks to the 2 million ounce Golden Crown Great Fingal deposits at 10 grams, 30 kilometres to the north. You can see in cross-section the cover sequence we're seeing on the lake through here and then into a regolith halo and then into the lodes. So we're seeing multiple parallel lodes in this dolerite. At the moment, Evolution has drilled about a 400-metre strike. They've got a 7,000-metre diamond drilling program happening at the moment, and also an air core drilling program testing new targets and defining new targets on this lake system. So there's about 8 to 10 kilometres of strike in this zone, and they're testing multiple areas within that. So for Musgrave, we have a really strong cash position. We're doing RC follow-up at Big Sky, Target 14, a number of other targets. We have a diamond drilling program planned as well. Regional air core drilling, developing new targets. We're continuing to grow that resource base. We want to continue to grow from the 650,000 ounce base we have now to over 1 million. That's the goal for us over the next 12 months. We're doing a lot of resource definition drilling over the next 6 months to convert inferred to indicated, and we'll progress those pre-feasibility level studies on existing deposits and then pipeline in the new discoveries as we make them. We have a strong JV with Evolution as our partner on part of our ground, not the existing resource but the area under the lake, and we're looking forward to continuing that. So all in all, we think we're in a really good position. Resources, grade, good recovery, fantastic infrastructure, and really strong exploration upside. We think the Murchison has a lot more gold to deliver, and we want to be on the front end of that. So we thank everyone for being here. I'm happy to take questions if there's time. If there's not, catch me afterwards. I'll be around. Then thanks very much to the organisers, Diggers and Dealers. Another fantastic event.
Thanks, Rob.